can turn deadly.
The Persian Gulf War, the Allied air assault of Iraq, enters its third week. Saddam Hussein, his army and his people are subjected to a seemingly endless bombing campaign. The time has come to draw blood, American blood.
نريد السلام من ذلك أن يجدد أحزان أمريكا.
The Iraqis attack in 3 places. One is Al-Kafji, a border town in Saudi Arabia.
The Battle of Kafji turned out to be a very interesting situation. There are a couple of theories. One is that Kafji was a main attack. In other words, a major effort by Saddam Hussein to attack into Saudi Arabia and to disrupt the buildup of American forces. The second is that it was some kind of probing attack for less important reasons than the commitment of troops to a main attack. I think over time I've come to believe that it probably was a major attack on his part.
The Iraqis move into the town so quickly that a 2-man U.S. Marine observation team is trapped and must crawl under rooftops to hide from the enemy.
Were you able to get them? No, they weren't in the vehicle. The tires were spinning, deuce gear was in there, but they weren't in the vehicle. We don't know if they fled or were captured.
It's got to be disappointing not to be able to find those men.
Yeah, it's, we wanted to get them pretty bad.
The Marines call for air support. For 3 days, the Allied Air Command pounds the Iraqis with B-52 bombers and Air Force A-10s. There is another plane in this fight, the Harrier. And when the Marines need close air support, or CAS, they want a U.S. Marine in the cockpit. During the war, there were more than 3,300 sorties by the AV-8B Marine Corps attack jet, an average of 2 a day for the 86 airplanes in theater. Airstrikes around Al-Kafji devastate the Iraqi tanks and artillery. For 2 days, there is heavy and close street fighting between the Iraqis and Allied forces to take back the town and free the trapped Marines.
The great benefit for the Marines in the Harrier is that it's on station now. It is close to the battle line, minutes away instead of hours away. It's able to be there when you need it. And that's the Marine philosophy, is get the grunts on the front lines now. And those guys in the cockpits are grunts. You know, they understand the mentality of being close and being available.
Throughout the war, the Harriers are based in 2 locations. One, a soccer stadium in Saudi Arabia, hastily converted to accommodate the Harriers and support troops. The Harriers are based so close to the fighting that they never require aerial refueling.
Astro Center, Snow 1-2, established Angel 7.
Harriers are also aboard ships sailing in the Persian Gulf.
Sets the 3.5 signal.
The primary reason the Marines purchased the Harrier is its flexibility.
At about 1.5 degrees of pitch and a little roll, so deck moving just a little bit, not too bad.
This high-performance single-engine jet is capable of V-stall, vertical or short takeoff and landing. For landings, there is no need for an arresting cable. The jet can take off from a ship without a catapult. And you don't need an 8,000-foot runway, an easy target for an enemy to attack. It is the jet that dazzles the airshow crowd. It is the jet famous for its ability to hover.
The Harrier has a reputation for being a dangerous airplane to fly because it's difficult to fly. It's like balancing 20 tons on the point of a needle. Particularly the early Harriers in the Marines, the AV-8A, was a difficult airplane to fly, and when they put new pilots in it, what they called nuggets, the loss rate was high.
The early Harrier, designed and built in Britain, is indeed a difficult plane to fly, especially in a hover. But that ability to hover is the reason both the British and the U.S. Marines were interested in the plane. Because of the vertical capability, the plane has greater access than conventional jets and is able to operate in confined areas.
Marine Corps' mission remains what it has been for the last several decades, and that is to be the nation's force in readiness. We're the 911 force. When you call, we have the capability to respond anywhere around the world, and that's the way we tailor ourselves, and that's what we train for.
Today's Harrier pilots train with the Marine Expeditionary Unit, an armada with troops, tanks, and artillery. They sail for 6 months at a time into the world's hotspots. The mission is simple. Be close and be ready to go ashore and fight.
IC-1, IC-2. Very nice at a high level.
The Harrier, since its creation, has been surrounded by critics and foes. But in 1982, in the South Atlantic, the Harrier is given a chance to prove itself. The islands are known to most of the world as the Falklands. To the Argentines, who have claimed the Falklands as their own since the early 1800s, the islands are known as Las Malvinas. Britain and Argentina have bickered over these islands for more than a century. In April of 1982, fed up after years of dispute and futile attempts at a diplomatic solution, the Argentines send their army to take the islands. The Argentines underestimate British resolve to fight for their tiny colony half a world away. Within 3 weeks of the invasion,